I think our ambitions were really quite low. It was really to make enough money to pay the rent.
As long as you love it, you have to keep going. You cannot quit. Rise and shine, it's espresso time.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something greater inside you too. You are a genius. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and sip on today's message from Elon Musk. Also, if you want to have more confidence, check out my 254 series. They are free. The link to join are in the description below.
There are just times when something is important enough, you believe in it enough, that you do it in spite of the fear.
When did it occur to you that Zip2 might be a success?
Well, I mean, when we first started out, I think our ambitions were really quite low. It was really to make enough money to pay the rent.
Yeah, we got a VC
so-
give us money. That was, yay!
Yeah.
We thought it was all over then.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I mean, when we started out in '95, we literally, at the beginning, we had one computer, which would be the web server during the day, and then at night, I'd program on it. And
we'd sleep in the office.
Yeah,
we couldn't afford to have an apartment.
It was cheaper to rent the office than to rent an apartment, so we just rented the office and slept in the office and showered at the YMCA.
Showered at the YMCA. And
Yeah.
for me, the worst part was eating at Jack in the Box 3 times a week.
Yeah, man, this like
I'll sleep
it's
in an
really
office
difficult to
anything.
get food at Palo Alto after like 10 p.m. It's like Jack in the Box and a few other options. So we rotated through the Jack in the Box menu. And through the end of '95, where that's essentially we're just sleeping in the office and showering at the YMCA, and then around the end of '95 is when Netscape went public, and then whether or not somebody knew what the internet was, they knew that you could make money on the internet somehow, or even if it's only on the greater fool theory. So when we went and talked to venture capitalists in early '96, there was a much greater interest in what we were doing. In fact, the round closed in like maybe a week or something.
It was crazy. Yeah, we went from sleeping in the office to people throwing, I mean, again, this is a financial crowd, so you guys see these numbers every day, but for us to hear, we'll give you $3 million.
Yeah, that sounded extremely, we thought they were crazy. Like, why would they do that?
It was literally like, these people are insane.
They obviously do not realize we're sleeping in the office.
In fact, when they did fund us, they realized that we were illegal immigrants.
Well, I mean,
Yes, we were.
I'd say it was a gray area.
Yeah, yes, we were. We were illegal immigrants. We were sleeping in the office. We didn't have a car. We had one car, but the wheel kept falling off.
But, well, actually, yeah, the wheel did actually fall off the car.
Yes, exactly. And the venture capitalists actually bought us cars.
Yeah, well, they gave us 40 grand.
It was 40 grand to go buy cars, which was, at the time was more money than we've ever seen.
Yeah.
As long as you love it, you have to keep going. You cannot quit. Maybe one day somebody does throw you a bunch of money and you can stop sleeping in your office. Or maybe it's just a slow grind up and it takes you 10 years to become an overnight success. You'll never know how long it will take you to be successful. But what you do know is that if you quit on something that you love, you will end up regretting it for the rest of your life. As long as you love it, you have to keep going. You can't quit. So look at my story. It wasn't easy being an entrepreneur growing up. That's why I do so much to help entrepreneurs, because I don't want you guys to struggle as much as I did. In my first real business when I was 19, I had to decide between earning $100,000 a year and traveling around the world in my dream job versus owning 30% of a company, making $300 a month, and being unsure if anything was gonna work out or not. And I decided that I had to keep going. I had to try, because I didn't want to end up being 85 years old looking back and saying, I never did it. I never went for it. I would rather no one fail than not know. Because the things that you regret are rarely the things that you do. It's the things that you didn't do. The things that you had a chance to do. You had an opportunity. You thought about it. You felt it. But then you backed down because you were afraid. Those are the things that you regret. That's what you regret most. And I didn't want that to happen. But starting off my business wasn't easy. I struggled, I sucked, I made it harder on myself because I told my friends that I was living the entrepreneur life and I couldn't hang out with them. Meanwhile, that $20 was just too expensive for me to go out and have beer with them, right? I isolated myself, I made myself lonely. I felt worthless as a human being. And the worst day of my life came when I told my business partner that I quit on him, that it was just too difficult, that I couldn't keep going, that I needed to feel like I was contributing, that my time meant something, that all this work I was putting into something, I just need to feel valuable again, that I was contributing to something. Because when you wake up every day and you're working and it's just not getting results, it can be real hard to keep going. And so I told him that I quit. I hung up the phone and then just started crying. And the next day I woke up and I just thought, I can't quit on this, not yet. I haven't given everything I've got. Because I felt like in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years, in 20 years, I would look back and regret that I gave up. If I knew that I gave everything I had and it didn't work out, I was okay with the failure. It was just the idea of that thing lingering, that I could have given a little bit more, that I still liked this thing and I needed to see it through, and I didn't, that I quit on it. I knew that would eat me up forever. And so I had to get up that next day and tell myself, I'm not gonna quit yet. I just have to find a different way to stand. What I've tried so far has not worked. It has not worked. I'm making zero money. Well, $300 a month. But it's not working out. And I hate myself. I hate my life. I hate how I feel about myself. I have to find a different way to stand. And that energy allowed me to keep going. That energy allowed me to then ask myself, who else has done this before? And I looked at Bill Gates and how he started Microsoft, and that started the path up for my business. And then 2 years later, I sold my company. And it happened pretty quick. All because I refused to quit on the thing that I knew I needed to see through. So how do you do it? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process for you to follow that I think will help. Number 1 is you quit when you don't love it anymore. And I think people often even stay in things for too long. I think people have fallen out of love with things and they stay with it because they don't want to be seen as a failure. I think a lot of entrepreneurs stay in their businesses for too long. I think a lot of people stay in their relationships for too long because you don't want to be seen as a failure for quitting on things. If you don't have the love anymore for the thing that you're in, you need to move on, because you will never create great things doing work that you don't love. You're going up against people who love doing the thing, who love it. You're never gonna win. You're never gonna have success. Meanwhile, you deserve to be doing work that you love, because you could be the Michael Jordan at something else. And so stop thinking your way through it. Stop saying you need to wrap your head around it. You don't. You need to wrap your heart around it. Ask yourself, are you excited to go do this thing? Do I still love doing this work? And if the answer is yes, then you have to find a way to keep going. You have to go one more day, one more day, one more day. And if it's no, then you have to get out immediately. ASAP. Stop spending your time doing work that you don't love. Step number 2 is flip patience and impatience. You gotta flip patience and impatience. Most people are very patient with themselves and impatient with the results. You want results today? Where are my results? Let's go. Where are my results? I want it to happen. Why isn't it happening fast enough, right? The entrepreneur mindset. But you're patient with yourself. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll get started on that thing on Monday. Start of the next month. You know what, next year, January 1st, that's when I'm gonna hit it hard. You need to flip that. That mindset will destroy you. You have to flip it. You flip your patience with impatience. Instead, what you wanna do is be patient with the results. You're patient with the results. You know that you have a big goal. It's gonna take a little bit of time to get there. If you have any goal that's worth anything, you're not gonna accomplish it today. That's a tiny little goal. You're worth more than that. You're chasing down big dreams. But you need to be more impatient with yourself. You're patient with the results and impatient with yourself. Did you give your most today to the thing? I'm here trying to make a video for you guys. I'm trying to bring the best that I've got today, that I have on this day for this video. Are you proud of yourself? When you go to sleep tonight, are you proud of yourself? Say, I gave my best today. Because if you are impatient with yourself and your effort every single day, that's the fast track to actually getting the results you're after. Flip your patience and impatience. And number 3 is think big, act small. You gotta think big and act small. You have a big dream, big mission, big vision, something that you're trying to accomplish, and it's gonna change the world, and it's amazing, and you're so excited, and being visionaries is what makes us entrepreneurs so amazing, right? I love your big dream. But sometimes that big dream is too big. And then you feel like you can't do it unless you have venture capital and you have a team and you've quit your job and all these things have lined up. That stuff is never gonna line up. That's the problem. And then it's 5 years later and you still haven't done anything on it. Meanwhile, dummies are winning off of your idea just because they started. And so you need to act small. You think big and you act small. You have this big dream, big vision, amazing, and then what are you gonna do right now today? What's the smallest possible, easiest, simplest way to just build momentum? Because that's the thing that's missing for most entrepreneurs. Momentum. You don't have enough momentum. You're a genius. You have great ideas. You're Michael Jordan. All of this stuff can work out. It's a beautiful business, a beautiful world you're gonna make, but there's no momentum behind it because you're not doing enough every day. Because you're thinking too big and you're not acting enough. So think big and act small. Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, question of the day, I wanna know, what do you love so much that you never see yourself quitting on? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video and you're gonna take some immediate action today after watching it, give me a hashtag believe in the comments as well.
I talk to a lot of people who are about to have a breakthrough, right? They're about to have a breakthrough, but they have convinced themselves in here of one thing. And let me tell you what it is. They've convinced themselves that what they're going through, no one's ever gone through before. That their wall is bigger than everybody else's wall. That their difficulty, no one knows how hard it is. But you don't know what I'm going through. But you don't know my difficulty. You don't know my family. You don't know my heartache. You don't know my enemy. You don't know who I'm facing. You don't know this opponent. He's so manipulative. You don't know how the industry is. You don't know how the market is. You don't know the company I'm a part of. You don't everything that's said. You don't know my wife. You don't know my boyfriend. You don't know my husband. You don't know my parents. You don't know who I am. My difficulties are bigger than your difficulties. And that's why I can't overcome these difficulties. Let me explain something to you. You know what's dangerous? Is if you actually believe that. Because if you actually believe it, you are right. There's nobody else that can do any convincing for you. But it's in that moment. Look at Hollywood. You think everybody in Hollywood's a good actor? Honestly, I can name you 20 people that are terrible actors who have had a career of 20 plus years. You can as well. But they persevered. They believed they belonged in that space, even though how many auditions you think they got passed up on? You think in basketball, everybody's got a God-given talent? You think Steph Curry can jump like LeBron James or Vince Carter? I would say Vince Carter's got God-given abilities. I don't know if Steph Curry's got the same kind of God-given abilities as LeBron or Vince Carter or any of these guys. In baseball, you think everybody's got this perfect 20/20 vision like Ted Williams had? It's a lot of guys that hit a wall that they had to overcome. A lot of guys that had to play AAA for a couple years before somebody picked them up. A lot of them. So is in business. But no matter what you're doing, anticipate the wall. You're going to hit it. And in those moments, whatever you tell yourself, if you convince yourself that the difficulty you're facing is harder than everybody else's and you buy it, you will stay where you're at. But if you convince yourself that whatever wall you've hit, other people have overcome it and so can you, you go through that wall as well.
If you want to know how Elon Musk thinks you can sell any product, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
Really, the way to sell any product is through word of mouth.